Hey, I'm back. Bad news, however. I think you know what I'm going to say. I can almost hear your groan of disappointment. I am alone. Bobby's not here today. For those of you who don't know, generally there are two people on this show. My review partner Bobby, he can't make it today because he studies law at university. And just going to take a little time out to advise any 17 or 18 year olds wondering, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to study in university / college if you're in America? What am I going to study? He studies law. He's away all the time. He's doing 3 essays this week. He can't watch wrestling, can't review wrestling. Me, I study English literature. I haven't done an essay in like 5 weeks. I'm here every show, right? So the lesson is, do a course which has no future career opportunities, okay? Because it's easier. Just a little bit of advice. Anyway, this is going to be a Raw review for March the 23rd. And once again, a pretty good show. Like, quite a lot of in-ring action. I know Raw's not remotely famous for that, but there was quite a lot of good in-ring action in this show. There's something good about Raw right now leading up to WrestleMania. There's an unpredictability about it, you know. The fact basically all SmackDown storylines are taking place within Raw as well. Unlike SmackDown itself, which is kind of stagnant and dull, Raw, you never really quite know what's going to happen. You never know which storyline they're going to go with. And case in point, they started off today's show with Ric Flair coming to the ring and accepting the challenge on behalf of the legends, as we're to describe them: Jimmy Snuka, Ricky Steamboat, and Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper's probably the only legend amongst those, but yeah. Yeah, he accepts the challenge, and this of course brings Jericho out, and we pretty much get the same stuff we usually hear from these, but I don't mind hearing it again. I know a lot of people get on Jericho's back for saying the same thing. I kind of like it. Basically, Ric Flair says he's going to be so proud when Steamboat, Snuka, and Piper beat down Jericho at WrestleMania, and then he's going to invite Mickey Rourke into the ring, and they're all going to celebrate together. And this antagonizes Jericho too far. One mic slip by Jericho. I think we'll forgive him because he's the best on the mic in the entire company, but he did make a mic slip, so just take note. Basically, Jericho starts beating down Flair, which is... It started off kind of tame. I didn't really like the punches he was throwing, but clearly Flair just told him to go for it at some point during the sequence, because suddenly Flair was just getting thrown around everywhere and stripped like he usually is. By the end, Flair was bleeding from ear to ear after Jericho had hit him with a camera, you know, as Flair is always bleeding. And then Jericho took his watch off and stamped on it, you know, that gold watch that they apparently get when they retire from wrestling. Didn't really know about that. Not sure that happened in the past, but sure. Yeah, so all in all, it was a good segment. I enjoyed it. It leads later to, because I was wondering, Jerry Lawler was just standing there the entire time watching, and he was just like, "Stop this, Jericho." And I was like, Jerry, you used to be a professional wrestler. You could just stop him yourself. But later on in the show, Jerry Lawler challenges, he calls out Chris Jericho for next week's show, which is good because it means that we're not getting Lawler Jericho at WrestleMania, which I don't think anyone wants to see. But it will be a good segment on next week's Raw. Anyway, so yeah, it starts off, Chris Jericho beats up Ric Flair. First match of the night, Jeff Hardy versus Dolph Ziggler. Extreme Rules. I know Bobby is particularly unhappy that he can't be here for this part of the show, because once again he's missed the show in which Dolph Ziggler is on. If I'm Dolph Ziggler right now, I'm feeling pretty happy the last 2 weeks, because I've been up against Jeff Hardy and Rey Mysterio, 2 former world champions, and I've got some offense in. I was basically jobbing, but I got some offense in, so yeah. Anyway, why is this match happening, right? For a start, it shouldn't be on Raw. He's clearly just on Raw to get a bit of a pop here, right? And it's to further the storyline, which they could have done on SmackDown, that Jeff has just snapped, because he could have got the pin on Ziggler. He had a chance to go for the Swanton and get the pin, but instead he went outside, got a steel chair, and started beating Ziggler with it in a vicious attack, as Michael Cole described it. And this is echoed in the promo after, where Jeff says, "You think this is extreme? You haven't seen extreme yet." which as a promo was mercifully short, is the only thing I could say about it. Yeah, this was a fairly good match, but I don't understand why they're presenting Jeff Hardy as the, why they have to build him up, why he's got to be the credible force. He already is a credible force. He's a former world champion just a few weeks ago, and he only lost the world title by cheating. Whereas Matt Hardy lost clean to MVP a week ago. In other words, Jeff Hardy is better, and they have gone over this. Like, Edge can't pin Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is better than the world champion. Matt Hardy isn't as good as the US champion. Why aren't they building Matt up by having him squash Dolph Ziggler? Why aren't they building Jeff up? I don't really get that at all. But yeah, they did it anyway. And it was an entertaining match. I liked watching him get. It would have been less entertaining if Matt had been involved. Put it that way. Then we had John Cena deliver a get well card to Vicky Guerrero. The only thing that could have made this segment worse is if he'd rapped, but yeah, the usual Cena crap. I don't care. Then we had the Money in the Bank match. I'm a little worried by the number of slightly lackluster match these guys have put on. I feel they could put on a good match, and they always do when it breaks down. When the matches break down, they start to put on a good match, but the matches have been a bit lackluster. But it's the face team, MVP, CM Punk, Christian, and Kofi Kingston versus the heel team, Shelton Benjamin, Mark Henry, Kane, and Finlay. Finlay is not a heel. You can't just book him in the heel team because the numbers don't work out. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But anyway, he's on the heel team, and I think he might be becoming a heel. We don't really know after this match still. Yeah, it was an okay match. MVP and Benjamin started out, and I feel these two could put on a good match, but I don't think they've done it yet. Really, they've put on some average matches, and I think anyone who says differently is wrong on that. Just average matches. The match is best when Christian's in the ring. Once again, Christian looks amazing. If you do not give him the Money in the Bank, you are an idiot. He looks comfortably streets ahead of these guys. He is clearly main event caliber right now. And the good news is Christian finally gets the win in this one. Shelton hits pay dirt on MVP, and I was like, Christian's still in the ring. Oh my god, Christian's actually going to get a win here. And then he hits the unprettier / kill switch on Shelton and gets the pinfall, which I was glad to see, obviously. Then they do that thing where everyone comes into the ring, stares up at the Money in the Bank, goes, yeah, I'm going to win that. No, I'm going to win that. Push. And then Finlay comes in with a ladder and knocks them over, and then starts cheering, and the crowd are all like, are you a heel now? We're not entirely sure. We're not going to boo you, but we're not going to cheer either. We're uncomfortable with this. They're all sort of like, do something else so we can find out if you're a face or a heel. But yeah, it was okay. Randy Orton promo next. Todd Grisham doing his usual confused interviewer thing. Orton says he's not a coward, as Triple H said he was on SmackDown. He'll prove it tonight. He's going to do something horrific. Grisham asks him, why do you think Triple H has the psychological edge in this feud? Good question. Why would Triple H have the psychological edge in this feud? I have no idea. Orton's a psychological heel.